Welcome back to Immaculate Perceptions on Game On Wisconsin. That's our producer Bruce doing a smack dab bang up job right there at the opening of the show. But we're doing something different today. As usual, MJ Hurley's joining me, and this is our show.
Hi, guys.
But today, MJ is going to start off with a message. He's got a little rant he wants to do. But let me point out first, these are MJ's thoughts. They're not mine. They're not Immaculate Perceptions. They're not those of Game On Wisconsin. They belong to MJ Hurley and MJ Hurley alone. So if you got beef with it or if you don't like it, don't hold us accountable. Hold MJ accountable. So with that being said, I'm giving MJ the floor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a stand-worthy rant for anybody who knows me. I am normally a pretty calm guy. I try to be fairly even-keeled. That's one of the things that, on Game On Wisconsin, on Third Down Thursdays with Bruce, I try to be the sensible one, right? But I was on vacation this weekend. It was the wife's birthday. We were in Pensacola Beach in Florida on the Panhandle. We were having a great time, right? And I wanted to sit down after being on the beach for 5 hours, after getting sunburnt, after enjoying myself, after having a few beverages. I was having a great Sunday. We said, hey, I'm sitting here. I've never watched the Packers lose a football game while I was in a hotel. It's a weird streak, but it made me very confident. We did the pregame space Saturday night. I talked with Jacob. I talked with Mike. I talked with everybody. I said, hey, this is going to be a lot like the Steelers game last year. The Green Bay Packers will be fine. Might be a little bit of a rough start, but it's an AFC opponent, very well-coached team. At the end of the day, we're going to be okay. I said, hammer Packers minus 10.5. Dubs is going to go off. Aaron Rodgers is going to go off. This is going to be a great game. We start off. We're watching the beginning of the game. It's getting a little iffy, right? As this game goes on, I got arguably more livid than I have been with the Green Bay Packers in a very long time. And this is not, I will direct about half of my anger towards Aaron Rodgers. And trust me, we will get there. But I do have anger for Matt LaFleur. I have anger for Joe Barry. Rich Bisaccia, you did a decent job. I wasn't super mad with you. Special teams was better than it's been in the past. So I'm not going to get mad at you because we're still, even though it wasn't the best game, they were still better than the 29th in the league we're used to. So I don't care, right? But here's where I start my beef with Mr. Aaron Rodgers, okay? And I got even more mad today. When I got off work, I thought, oh, it was Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on the Pat McAfee show, right? Let's take a look at what Rodgers had to say. And there's one quote specifically that made me livid. Bruce, I don't know if you can pull it up on this short notice, but he said on the Pat McAfee show something along the lines of, he referred to when Devontae Adams was a rookie. He said when Tay was a rookie, there were a lot of times, and then he goes, and I see this a lot with Christian Watson, that Tay was open. He just didn't happen to get the ball. And he said that quote referring to Christian Watson, who, when Christian Watson is on the field, he is the fastest human being on the football field. Like 99% of the time, he is the fastest human being on the football field. And Aaron Rodgers said to Pat McAfee today, yeah, he just doesn't happen to get the ball even if he's open. Excuse me? You don't have the type of offense where you can just sit there and let Christian Watson not happen to get the ball when he just more than often is open. That's number one, okay? We saw what Christian Watson can do with the ball in his hands. He takes it to the house, okay? That's why the Packers drafted him. That's why the Packers wanted to move back into the first round to draft him, because they said this is one of the most talented football players we see in this draft. We want to go get him. And because Aaron Rodgers is a little baby and doesn't like that Christian Watson dropped the ball week 1 against the Vikings, he's punishing him just like he punished Romeo Doubs for half of the game on Sunday and didn't give him the ball after Romeo Doubs dropped and fumbled a screen pass that was all Aaron Rodgers' fault for a terrible screen throw, which, by the way, Aaron Rodgers is one of the worst screen quarterbacks in the NFL. He can be great at every throw, but when it comes to a screen pass, dude tries to throw it 100 miles an hour and break the receiver's hand when he tries to do that. So that's number one. Aaron Rodgers, I love Alan Lazard. I love Randall Cobb. I love Robert Tonyan. I think they all bring incredible things to the Packers passing game, but are not arguably, just factually. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are the two most talented receivers on that football team. Just pure talent. I don't care if they drop the ball once in a while. I don't care if you're on the wrong page once in a while. It is your job as the face of the franchise, as the quarterback, to get those two on the same page. I don't care. Get them the football. So that's number one. I need a breather. I'm getting heated, okay? That's number one. Number two, okay? And I know that this is just a narrative, but it's still a narrative that needs to be applied, okay? Not only did the game start with Brian Hoyer, I laugh just thinking about it. The game started with Brian Hoyer being the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, and somehow their quarterback position got worse because Bailey Zappi, the rookie quarterback out of Western Kentucky, who used to be actually a very good college quarterback. He almost threw for 6,000 yards, almost broke an FBS record last year, came in and somehow through 4 quarters looked better than Aaron Rodgers did. Like, it baffles me that the rookie quarterback was, by the way, Matt Patricia calling the plays. Let's remind people that Matt Patricia was the failed head coach of the Detroit Lions who ran them into the ground so badly that they're even more of a laughingstock than they used to be. And by the way, is a defensive play caller that Bill Belichick is trying to sabotage the Patriots with by having him call offensive plays. He was the play caller for Bailey Zappi. I don't even know if that's how you say his name. Bailey Zappi looking better than Aaron Rodgers through 3 quarters. Bruce says it's Zapp. I don't care because dude looked better than my Hall of Fame quarterback for 55 minutes of that game. That is just embarrassing. What does Todd have to say? This has me fired up. The pants are coming off. That's what I love to hear, Todd. Take your pants off for this rant. You deserve it, young man. Okay. And it is a bad thing. Yes, Jude, it is a bad thing that more than one wide receiver getting open. But yes, it does make him a baby. And here's the reason why. Because here's the reason why, Jude. And I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at Aaron Rodgers, okay? I love you, Jude. You're probably a great human being. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. But here's the problem, okay? Aaron Rodgers does not just see it on film later. I understand what you're saying, but Aaron Rodgers is an MVP quarterback. He doesn't just see it on film later. He knows that Christian Watson is open. He knows that Romeo Doubs is open. And he knows when it came down to it later and Aaron Rodgers had to win a football game, what did he do? He threw 2 quick hitters to Romeo Doubs. They got 20 yards, and the Green Bay Packers won that football game, okay? He knows that Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are the easiest way for him to win a football game, and because he is an old dog who doesn't want to learn new tricks and is set in his ways, albeit incredibly freaking talented ways. He is set in his ways, and he doesn't want to go throw to those rookie wide receivers. But when you get to the point where he needs to win a game, who does he keep turning to? He's not making those game-winning plays to Lazard or Tonyan or Cobb. He's doing it to the guys who can go get 10 yards just because they can. That's what drives me the most crazy. And so I said during this football game that if Aaron Rodgers loses to the New England Patriots third-string quarterback, that I will never again root for him and advocate for him as the NFL GOAT. Thankfully, for my brand, he didn't lose that football game. Thankfully for the MJ Hurley and the Third Down Thursdays brand, Aaron Rodgers did not lose that football game. However, I am still outraged. One quick part of my outrage, and I will sit down for this because I'm not as mad. I'm not as mad at Matt LaFleur as I am at Aaron Rodgers. But here's the thing. You need to understand, and let me put my camera down. I'm calming down a little bit. But the last part of my rant, which I am still very mad about, is the fact that Matt LaFleur seems to not be able to call a football game after his scripted plays and until he gets to the part where he looks at Aaron Rodgers and says, "Go win me a football game." Between the first 15 and the last 10, there doesn't seem to be anything that they can do. They'll run the football better than any team in the league, and then Aaron Rodgers will take 3 deep shots for no reason. I'm sorry, but the screw it, Devontae is down there somewhere game plan doesn't work anymore because newsflash, he's in Las Vegas. So that doesn't work. Also, Joe Barry, you have some of the best playmakers on all phases of the defense. Matt LaFleur said it himself. Get out of your shell and let your football players make plays.
All right. Those were the thoughts of MJ Hurley. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Those are not the thoughts of Immaculate Perceptions, our sponsors, Game On Wisconsin, and those affiliated with us. If, by any chance, you disagree with MJ, go to his Twitter, hit him up at MJ Hurley TDT, and he'll be more than glad to speak with you.
Time out.
MJ, okay. You feeling better now? Can you breathe?
My heart rate is a little high. If I had my Apple Watch on, it would be notifying me that I'm not okay.
Well, I told you not to drink the pre-workout before you did the show.
Yeah, I did it anyway. I got 300 milligrams coursing through my veins, and I am ready to go. How we doing?
Well,
how we doing, boys? Joe, what's up, dude?
Okay, so let's talk about this now. Come to Dr. Joe, okay? Let me help you feel better, okay? Come to Dr.
Papa, okay.
Dr. Feel Good, okay? So, I agree with you with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he has the luxury of not throwing to people who are open at this point. And then when he throws something out of bounds, you get this.
I'm gonna turn my light on real quick.
Keep going. When you get that from him, you know he fucked up. Let's just be honest. You know he fucked up. He knows he fucked up. Yeah. And at the same time, I agree with LaFleur with some of the play calling. And there are times where he not only gets predictable, but he gets away with what actually is working for him.
Right.
Okay. Now, the mind-boggling thing for me is on defense, because the bottom line is Rashawn Gary may be the most dominant defensive player in the game, not named Micah Parsons or Aaron Donald right now.
Right.
You got to do, and if it wasn't for some bullshit, there's been a couple face max penalties or just dumb penalties that stopped other plays. There's been a few, like I said. I could see, him having even more dominant year. But I'm going to say this, and I know we talk about Zap and what he's done, what he did that game. Look, the bottom line is he's never played in an NFL game, and you don't know what you got on film with him. And you're really not scheming for him because you kind of figure Brian Hoyer is going to be your guy.
Right.
So, I mean, there's that side of it, too, that it's not playing Madden where your guy is, the quarterback's coming in at 65 and your defense is 87 and, okay, he sucks. This guy, what he did at Western Kentucky last year was a pretty fucking amazing year. Okay, let's be honest. The guy set the touchdown in his season mark, the most yards in his season. I mean, the guy can chuck the ball. But that same breath, there's no Jacoby Myers. Hey, and did I not tell you that Ramondre Stevenson is a tough ass running back? Madre did his thing. So, 62 touchdown passes for Zap last year. Now, mind you, when it comes to Zap, I will say this. The first thing that I thought of, and it shows my age for everybody in here over the age of 23 or 24, 25, even at 30, okay? Us old guys, there was a movie called Zapped starring Scott Baio and Willie Ames. And that movie itself is one of the greatest after-school movies of all time. And that's what Green Bay's defense happened to their defense last week. They got zapped. And I will say this too, and this in true North Packer fan actually was going to took what I was going to say. At some point, you got to stop the running game. You got to hit a running back, and you got to have them lose yards. The bend don't break defense is great. It works well on an occasion, But you don't want to go through a whole season, especially a season where at one point this season you're going to have 7 first-round picks on defense on the field at the same time.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't do that at all. So I say that with MJ, your rant actually was pretty spot on. I know in the Game On Wisconsin chat on Twitter, people were like, "Wait, what's going on?" And they literally all started. I mean, they're starting to pile in. So, what was?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, there it is! Zap, bam!
What is the
best?
Movie.
Oh my god, dude, get it? Go fucking YouTube it and jump on it, man. And you will laugh your ass. Dude gets power so he can look at things and make stuff move. And Scott Bale could look at someone, lift his eyebrow up like The Rock, and clothes fly off.
That's what.
Put the original cover on, Bruce. Put it on. Put it on, Bruce.
Gosh.
Yes.
What's the original cover?
Oh, it's fantastic for people my age. People old enough to be your daddy.
Now.
But at the end of the day, 3-1, MJ.
Yeah.
Leading the NFC North, tied for the lead with the Queens, who got away with one because the Saints literally
double doinked.
And if he kicked it 6 inches to one side, guess what? It goes in. They're going OT, and the Queens are going to lose overseas.
1 to 3 inches already. We're expecting about 2 more inches.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what that is.
All right, real quick. I'm going to jump in. So the image that we are about to show does not represent Game On Wisconsin Third Down Thursdays, MJ or Joe, or especially myself at all. So just figured I'd put that out.
Okay. That's MJ. Look, that's the.
That's funny.
80s movies. God, I got this cough I cannot shake. I'm sorry. Oh,
I do love that.
All right, let's get to other analysis of the game since you kind of railed off on it.
Yes.
What did you think? I said this on the. That's no bueno.
I really hate to see that.
Yeah. I got in the spaces.
Yeah.
And we with Mike and Jake, and I don't think you were in there. You may have came in a little later. I don't know. I don't remember.
I was not in the post game one.
Okay, I got back from the Raiders game, and I literally I went in there, and I'm of the belief, and I shared this. We talked about it on the show in the past, and I said it there. I'm of the belief that going forward, Green Bay needs to put Yosh Neiman at right tackle, slide Elton back into the guard, and kick Running to right guard. That's their best 5. And if it means you have to pay Elton like a right tackle, and I believe someone said, I don't know if it was Todd or Mike. I think it was Mike that said actually right guards are paid or left guards are paid more than right tackles. Pay him what he needs to get paid. It doesn't matter. Whichever one is going to, reset them. That's your dude. Put him there. The most important thing for them is to keep 12 or whoever is at quarterback upright and opening up holes for that running game to really become successful, because that is the benchmark of the offense.
I think I agree with everything you just said. I believe that obviously at left guard, the place where he started in the NFL, his more natural position, I think Elton Jenkins will perform better there. I think Yosh is, at tackle is one of their best 5. I would rather have John Runyon Jr. at guard than Royce Newman. So if I have to make that switch, I love that. And I agree. Whatever you have to pay him, I don't care what you're paying him as. Elton Jenkins is the most versatile offensive lineman in the NFL because he can play above replacement level at all 5 positions. Even if he did get beat up a little bit by Matt Judon, who, by the way, is a very good edge rusher. It's not like he was getting beat up by some average Joe Schmo in a bad defense. Elton Jenkins was struggling against one of the best edge rushers in the NFL in one of the best defensive schemes the NFL has seen in the last 20 years, because, by the way, it carried Tom Brady to Super Bowls. Anyway, so let's not pretend that Elton Jenkins was struggling against a bad team. And even with all of that, Elton Jenkins was still the 3rd highest graded PFF player for the Packers. So he may have struggled, but when he wasn't allowing a pressure, he was still incredibly solid. So I don't know. I think at right tackle, if the Packers decide to keep him there, I'm not going to be mad about it. But I do think as a whole, 5 offensive linemen, Elton Jenkins is better at left guard than right tackle.
I'm not big on knee jerk reactions with anything. I'm one of those people that like to think things through for the most part. And
I normally am.
And Todd, just want to point something out. I'm not wearing pants either, buddy.
Beautiful.
Got you. Me, you, Todd. It got you. But I was going to say, you know, the one thing that stands out to me is it is actually game 3 for Elton Jenkins and game 2 for David Bakhtiari. So at that point, I mean, and that's 600 days of not playing ball and almost a year of another one. So there is some rust that needs to come off, and it is early. And I'm not in with the NFL, you know, with the NFL, I break them up into quarters anyway. And the first is just kind of like you have teams jump out to 3-1 starts and then end up 6-11. The Vikings will probably be somewhere around that group. You know, you have a team like Denver, you know, and then you have, you know, teams that really rely on, as you see, defense. And you look at Rashawn Gary, 93.4.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Rudy Ford, 78.9. I mean, that's a guy that came in the game after the guy behind him, Adrian Amos, leaves the game, you know, and so that's not bad, even though the defense does suffer with Amos not in there, because that
for sure
that forces Savage to play up and kind of read more versus playing free and let him go do what he has to do, where he's best with his assets and what he does best, you know, playing like a deep center field and be a playmaker that way. So I say all that because we're complaining about 3-1. You know, I witnessed the team on Saturday beat a team and they didn't have a win, but they looked like the better team out there all game. So, you know, I err on the side of caution in this regard. I don't think it's a lot to be worried about just yet. But I will say, you know, going across the pond and playing in London against a team that's worked out Jake Fromm at quarterback today, and they use Saquon Barkley at quarterback. You know, I mean, like, who are they going to call next? Phil Simms? Jeff Hostetler? I mean,
may as well just sign Archie Manning to the NFL at this point.
Maybe, how about, I can't do Arch. Maybe Cooper.
Is Cooper the younger one?
That's the oldest brother.
That's the oldest brother? Oh.
Yeah. I say that tongue in cheek because he was a receiver.
Yeah,
Chad,
let's get let's
Bruce
get Penn
called
State.
Eli Manning Chad Powers.
Well, because that was the. Did you see that, Joe? That was the.
Yes, that's his alias.
The skit he did. So now we have the bottom 3 PFF that Bruce is going to give us in a moment. And I think it's interesting to look at these grades. They don't mean everything because somehow Aaron Rodgers had the worst first half of his career and ended up with an above average grade at the end of that game. He probably took a little something in the locker room at halftime, Joe, you think? Maybe, possibly?
Ayahuasca.
You think he had a little ayahuasca?
No, you know what? You know, I know we joke about it, but look.
I'm not joking. I'm just...
I think at some point...
How else did that man learn how to throw a deep ball in a span of 20 minutes?
Look, sometimes a pitcher, if you're playing baseball, it just takes one. You got to hit on one. Same thing with the jump shot. It just hits, and that's what it is. Look at the bottom grades.
Dobbs graded that poorly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, but hold on. But okay, I don't like PFF and their grades because it's skewed. I mean, it's skewed because, I mean, who was it that I forget? Who was I reading today that they had a bunch of missed tackles? The defense gave up a bunch of yards, and yet they graded them high because the tackle, there was just tackles. Like, I'm like, the stuff is skewed. The eye test
Yeah.
to me speaks more than the. What you got to say about an eye test, MJ?
So
You don't like the eye test?
Bruce
You
is
don't
in
like the eye
our
test?
Bruce is in our ears,
Hmm?
egging me on a little bit.
What's
So
with the eye
to
test?
give
You
you
don't
some
like eye test?
context, Joe, Bruce on our show Third Down Thursdays will, in my humble opinion, throughout the history of the last 2 years of us, going back and forth, he'll use the eye test over statistics. I am a fan of, because I don't think I'm smart enough when it comes to most sports. Baseball is the only one where I will use eye test because I've actually played baseball my whole life. Never played football. I can make some decent analysis, but I never actually, had a play called for me and had to run it. Right. So I can look at it and be like, oh, okay. In my opinion, Watson looked open. I don't know what's going on, but Bruce is a big fan of the eye test. He'll be like, by the eye test, Tom Brady is such a good leader, and he best quarterback of all time. Aaron Rodgers could never do that, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Tom Brady happened to lead all those defenses.
Okay, but let me
That's
point
what the eye
something out.
test is telling you.
Okay, let's chill there. I never once said Aaron Rodgers couldn't do that, because I even told you if I had to do a ranking system of Rodgers and Brady, I'm going to say they're 1A and 1B. So calm the fuck down. That's it.
So what I will say, MJ, is analytics are a tool; they're not a rule. And I
Right.
think there's far too many people that rely on that solely as a
No, I
rule,
agree,
and the eye test is a tool. Look, you're going to tell me,
and I think PFF is a terrible tool.
oh, I don't disagree with that.
If I'm trying to get likes on Twitter, then that's a completely different thing. Oh,
Walker.
Engelbar.
You know
You
what?
gotta do
Hey,
better than
I'm
that,
glad.
bro.
Okay, Campbell, that's one that's not passing the eye test. That's one that's not passing the eye test, buddy. Look, I love Andre
Quay
Campbell.
Walker's gonna get that because he just does some
And
weird
Quay too.
stuff on the football
Yeah,
field.
the last week, Quay was just firing through holes and just going. This week, it was almost like he was waiting. He's thinking too much. Last year with Andre Campbell, he's flying around making all kinds of plays. This year, he's taking a sweet ass time. I have an
Do we pay
issue
him
with that.
money, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Do we
I'm
pay
glad
him too much money?
No, I think that what it is there. I believe that there is a little feeling out process going on with Quay and with some of the other guys on the defensive side of the ball. And I actually agree with Coach LaFleur. When he said Barry needs to come out of his shell, I agree with that 100%. You got some dudes back there. You can man up. You can blitz more. You can do more things. They're literally and figuratively. And get after them. I mean, this is supposed to be a top tier defense, right? That was the expectation. Play exactly. I mean, but at the same time, look, the way the schedule plays out, we all know it as Packer fans. Green Bay could eventually be 6-1. You know what I mean?
Right.
6-1. And then they go to Buffalo. If you're 6-1 going into that game, who the fuck are we to complain? Who are we? Bears fans? Vikings fans? I mean, literally, I living here in Vegas, I hear all this Raider talk about how the sky is falling, how Mark Davis is going to fire Josh McDaniels 3 games into the season. Are you fucking stupid? It's 3 games into it. It's the same thing right now. It's 4 games, 5 games into it. Relax. Literally relax. Take a deep breath and just chill out and see how it plays out. Because if you, again, knee-jerk reactions at the beginning of a season lead to, on the back end, looking back, man, I can't believe I said that shit on Immaculate Perceptions. I'm surprised Jacob even lets us have a show on Game On Wisconsin because we said some wild, stupid shit. Hell, I'm surprised I don't get a call every other day from him saying, bro, like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's just me.
Anyway, I think Bruce apparently has a good video.
Let's see what this
Uh,
video
Okay,
is.
so this is the first time I've done this on the show, so I'm hoping that it works out well. So if I mess up, I apologize to anybody watching or anybody that's watching this. But this is via Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers having a conversation with those guys about the Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes,
comment.
let's talk about this.
So if I screw up with this, I apologize. I'm gonna do what I can. So give me 1 second and.
Let's see him fire it away, Bruce.
we'll see.
They don't get. You guys haven't given me sharing access, so I can't share.
Yeah, we have. You're
No.
signed in via the admin, my guy.
No,
Is
I
it
can't
in?
share.
You can't share your screen.
Send it to MJ. Let's go that way.
Can't-
But
Can't
look,
share the screen.
do I? And if Odell Beckham is a question, then the answer is yes. How's that? If bringing him in is even a question, I think you do it. You know, he's one of the best when healthy, one of the best receivers in the NFL. He knows how to get in the end zone. He runs great routes, and he's super competitive. And people could say what they want about Tom Brady throwing tablets and Aaron Rodgers throwing tablets. You know, give me Odell Beckham, you know, punching a wall after a playoff loss. Give me Odell Beckham. I don't give a damn about the kicking net. He's pissed because he didn't do it. You know, he didn't score a touchdown and he wanted his team to win. I want that shit. That's what I want with players. And I would think Aaron Rodgers would want it too.
All right. I hypothetically have, let's see. I think I got it right here. Yes, I do. Okay. We're gonna, I think the audio should come through. Let me know if it does. This is Aaron Rodgers on his relationship with Odell Beckham via the Pat McAfee show. No sound?
No sound.
That is very unfortunate. Bruce, best bet would be to just download the video if you can, but we'll get that on there. And Joe, about Odell Beckham, I know some people in here in our chat have said that they don't want him because of locker room presence, whatever it is.
He's never been
for the
called a bad
umpteenth
teammate.
time. For the umpteenth time, let's shut all of that down. And they talked about this on the broadcast last night, Monday Night Football, because it was Rams 49ers. Anytime the Rams are on national TV now, they're talking about Odell. And yes, because Odell still has associations with some of the training staff for his knee rehab, because that's where he won a Super Bowl. Of course, if Odell can go back to LA, brother's going to go back to LA. But there are a lot of things that also need to get figured out for the Rams before that can actually be made a thing. And let's just say Aaron Rodgers is not afraid to do some recruiting. And let's just say that the Green Bay Packers are not opposed to spending a little bit of money because they have the money to spend. And if they need to spend it, they're going to spend it.
So we're having issues still. But I'm going to actually make a comment on this real quick. I kind of complained about this earlier. 100% that the Packers should go after this guy, especially since the fact he's still working out. He's still going to multiple football games and basically advertising, marketing for himself. I still haven't seen him on the Packers sideline yet, though. That's interesting.
Who cares? I want him on the sideline when he's strapped up, ready to go. When he's signed, sealed, delivered. I don't give a fuck if he's there hanging out at Lambeau Field. What if he's in London this weekend? He's in New York, you know, hanging out, you know, talking to the Giants and seeing some old friends. What if that's on his way to London, you know, to go out there, maybe get some PRP done to his leg because, you know, it could help expedite, you know, the healing process a little bit further. And he's, hey, I'm in London. Might as well go see the Rams in the Vajantes play and, you know, go from there. And hey, you know, Aaron, you know what, hey, you know, let's go to Amsterdam real quick. What do you say? You know, it's a quick little hop, skip, jump, you know, before we, you know, after you play the game. And what's it like in Green Bay? Is the grass greener in Green Bay than it is in New York or LA? Or I already know it's greener in Cleveland. Look, the reality is this. He may live in LA. Don't think that he's not. There hasn't been some type of conversations or whatnot. That's definitely not the case, as there's a ugly purple screen, not Laker purple, it's Queen purple. But anyway, I don't think it's a slam dunk. He resigns with the Rams. I'm just call it a educated guess.
And here's the thing, Joe. As nice as it would be, Packers don't need him to win a Super Bowl.
That's bullshit. Bullshit. They need another receiver. And it's not an indictment on Dobbs. It's not an indictment on Lazard or Watson or Cobb. It's an indictment on Amari fucking Rodgers being a shitty ass returner and a shitty ass receiver that can't get on the field, and a guy that I was completely wrong on because I thought he'd be a difference making type guy in this offense. They don't
need Odell. They need Aaron Rodgers to get out of his old ways and be willing to throw to his rookies.
It's not just about throwing
Joe,
to his rookies.
No, Joe, it is. Because what was the thing that we were missing in Devontae, right? The fact that you could just throw Devontae out there, he could go get 10 and 100. Well, Romeo Doubs can do the same thing.
No, he can't.
Lazard, he can.
No, and I love Romeo.
Why can't he?
He's not.
Why can't he?
Look at the touchdown pass he dropped in the end zone. That would have put him over 100. And here's the thing, and I say that because I made this comment too. No Packer fan should say shit about him dropping that touchdown pass in the end zone this week. Yep. Because Dez Bryant did the same shit, and we as Packers fans in the Green Bay organization benefited.
That's
from
why
it.
I didn't say a single word.
I'll say that shit. But the bottom line is he drops too many balls. Kristen Watson, you have to earn trust. And it's a difference. There is a difference between being a great and a really good college wide receiver and then an NFL wide receiver. Dobbs is learning it. The traits for them are the traits for him to be that guy are all there. Look, I've compared him to Devontae coming out. It took Devontae 3 or 4 years to get to where he was at in terms of being the best receiver in the NFL.
But he also didn't get the targets to start.
Right, and there's a reason for that. And Greg Jennings, it took Greg a while, even though he came in hot, and James Jones actually compared Dobbs to Jennings coming out. That actually, again, is another fair comparison, considering that Greg was getting more touches with Brett Favre, especially as the season went on. I think the touches are going to be there, but he's on pace to catch for almost 800 yards and 72 balls and 7 touchdowns as a rookie. Yeah. So it's not like he's not. It's not like he's having a shitty year. Like, yes, the pass was wrong, but guess what? Tuck the ball away. Secure the ball, and when you catch it, secure it. At times, he and Watson, you can tell that they're college strong, but they're not NFL strong yet. But they'll get there. And believe me, I'm the conductor of that train. I'm the conductor of the Dobbs train, and I'm saying this because I need to be objective. Like if you can bring an Odell Beckham in and that will, and then guess what that does? Hey, Kristen Watson, why don't you return kicks and punts? Now you have speed back there because he was very good at it in North Dakota. Okay. Now it makes the team better. Period. Point blank. You bring in.
Well, of course it makes Odell the team better. I'm not denying that.
So to say they don't need him to win a Super Bowl, that's bullshit because they do. You make your team as good as you possibly can.
I'm saying they can win a Super Bowl without him. Of course, their odds are increased if they get him. But I'm saying more of the responsibility for their ability to win a Super Bowl lies on Aaron Rodgers than it does bringing in Odell Beckham.
I think it relies more on the defense than it does Aaron Rodgers because we all kind of knew this year was going to be a struggle offensively. It relies more on that defense. It relies more on Kenny Clark and Jerron Reed.
You know what really scares me is Dan Orlovsky said the Packers offense is going to be good by the end of the year.
I agree with that.
That really scares me.
And Bruce brought up Will Fuller. Fuck Will Fuller. He's always injured, and he's only 28, but he's always injured. He hasn't played a full season in the NFL, and the year he was balling out, he got popped for roids. What does that tell you? I'm good.
Fair. I don't want
T.Y.'s old and full of concussions.
I don't want T.Y. Bruce, Bruce is bringing up Randall Cobb's contract, which Randall Cobb, Bruce, I don't know what contract you're coming
I
up
don't
with.
got no
There's
problem
way
paying
that
Cobb
Randall Cobb
3
is-
years, 28 with 17 guaranteed. I don't got no problem with Cobb, or 18 guaranteed. I got no problem with Cobb. I'm gonna tell you why. Cobb's came up big. Cobb's came up big when it needed it.
Bruce,
Look at
no. Bruce is very wrong. Randall
Bruce
Cobb
is
is
wrong?
making Randall Cobb is making $2 million this year, and he has a void year next year. I am on.
Well, he redid his contract. they did something to his contract at the end of the going into the new league year.
Yeah, that was Bruce. That was Randall Cobb's contract with the Texans. He is no longer on his Texans contract. He is on a completely new deal with the Packers, and he is making $2 million this year.
I'm just using Spotrac right now. Spotrac's usually a pretty accurate website for contracts.
Yeah, no. That was his original contract. But Randall Cobb's only making $2 million this year. So that's
But
pay
whatever they're
Randall
paying him
Cobb $2 million in a year to get 3 third down catches a game that convert, sure, at this point.
Look,
and he's a good veteran presence for those receivers.
Look, I got no problem with Cobb at all. Look, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know you went off about Aaron Rodgers earlier.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not mad at him.
Really?
I'm not mad at him at all. Nope. You know, the last 2 years, Aaron Rodgers in his career is the most gifted quarterback to ever play in the NFL. He can do things, make throws, his eye, everything. He literally, if you want to make a perfect quarterback, he would be that guy for most of his career. Okay, let's just be real about it. So the standard that he set, he's not playing up to this year. And I bet if he's being honest with himself and his teammates, he'll tell you that. He'll tell them that. Hey, you know,
right.
I fucked up. I've had a bad fucking year so far. You know, but at the end of the year, guess what? He'll turn it around. He has 2 interceptions this year? What was that? Like 5 and 2? 3? Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's playing bad football. I mean, he is to his standard.
But for Aaron Rodgers' standard, yeah.
Exactly. So I don't personally have that well, Aaron sucks. He's having a shitty year. I'm gonna and the main reason why is he's learning to play with new weapons other than Lazard and Cobb. The Lazard and Cobb are the only 2 weapons in the receiving room that he's comfortable with, and he's growing, and they're learning him. And I'm gonna tell you the big thing. I feel like with Dobbs, there is something different between him and Dobbs, because look at crunch time, and when he wanted to make a big play, who did he throw to?
But
he gave him the opportunity, and I think he's going to continue to give him that opportunity. Christian Watson missed how much time in camp?
A lot.
So
most of it.
So Dobbs has got way more time with Rodgers, so there's a little more familiarity and comfortability between them. Watson needs to stay healthy. For the guy that has the speed to change everything, he's not staying healthy. So I say all that because, you know, I think the standard of Rodgers said is so high for us and all Packers fans that it's cool, because that's the standard is the standard.
Right.
But we knew going into, especially early on, this is going to be a year, at least early on, where it's growing. There's some growing pains. And no,
sure.
He's not playing the Justin Fields standard, because there's only a few guys that's the Mitch Trubisky standard. Okay. So, and I'm not taking a shit on Bruce when I say that, because Bruce knows exactly how I feel about the offensive fucking genius, that was Matt Nagy, and I've long said that they reached for Justin Fields. Rodgers' standard is up here. The rest of the leagues is here, and then you got the Bears standard where their quarterbacks have been since Jim McMahon got hurt. So there is a big difference there. So I say all that. This is, again, I did take Rodgers saying RELAX, Relax. Things will be okay.
Ah.
8 weeks from now, 9 weeks from now, if they're 13-2 or 14-1 or whatever it is, and we're bitching about this, man, we need to go get our fucking dolphin heads checked.
Oh my gosh. All right. We got the Giants this week in London. Real quick, Joe. Packers favored by 8. Over under is 41.5. I'm done recommending that the Packers are that you should bet for the Packers because honestly, after seeing the Giants play, they can run the football. They can play some good defense. I am worried about what Saquon Barkley will do to the Packers.
I like Green Bay, but I'll take the under. I'm not a gambler, even though I live out here. I'll take the Giants +8, and I would go the under that 41.5, and only because the offense has been anemic, and the Giants offense is just fucking pathetic. I was on a phone call with a Giants fan today who's a season ticket holder, good friend, sponsor for our company, one of the sponsors, and he's like, "Fuck, we fucking suck. I mean, we're bringing Jake fucking Fromm in. Tyrod can't fucking spell his name right now because his head's fucked up, and Daniel Jones could barely walk. So, I mean, no quarterbacks. You're not going to score a lot in the way Green Bay's offense has been early on this year. I don't think they're going to score a lot either.
I think it's going to be very low scoring, maybe 17-10, something
About
like that. Bruce
agree.
is going Packers -10. I mean, yeah, they took away a home game, but the Packers still have 8 home games, so it's
it's the extra game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in 5-10 years from now, when the league is used to having 9 home games every other year, then this would be a bigger deal. But since we just got to the point where 9 home games every other year is a thing, I think the Packers will be okay. Yeah, I mean, if I was a local, I'd be kind of mad because I got excited about 9 home games and then one of them's in London. But at the end of the day, it'll be okay. Joe, another week of Immaculate Perceptions. It has been a pleasure, good sir. Bruce, thank you for keeping us sort of on track, bringing the comedy. As always, we love you and your bald head dearly. If you want to catch me and Bruce, follow us at Third Down Thursdays.
And Bruce,
we'll be live this Thursday.
I can catch Bruce in a sports bra like he's wearing right now.
Yes. Somebody actually made a comment about the wife beater. I cannot take Bruce seriously in the wife beater. I have to deal with this every week. Thank goodness it's not. We'll be back with more chaos next week.
That's Matt McAfee.
Immaculate Perceptions.